Okay, I know I said this trip wasn't about taking some pictures, but I think when there's a nice scene, you should still take a shot. Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about something that is quite different, and this is actually something that I think is very important for most photographers, but I haven't really done it, at least not very seriously, and this is location scouting. So let's get started by rolling the intro. For those of you who are new to this channel, I'm Bellemare-Alford, a young photographer and filmmaker on a journey to become better at this art. So for this weekend of the 4th of July, I was planning to do something special and go on a camping trip and take some astrophotography shot. But I quickly realized that I had no idea which were the good spots around here. It's also quite difficult because most of the most recommended spots are actually inside of the mountains where there's still a lot of snow right now here in Washington, so that can be a problem. The second problem was that most of the nights there are going to be a lot of clouds in the sky, so it wasn't really a possibility for me to take some good astrophotography shots. So I decided to do something a little bit different, and I think actually this is quite important, and it's doing some location scouting. So that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. I'm going to be bringing you along to show you this whole process, and we're going to see if it's beneficial in the end or not in my next photo shoot. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is what is location scouting. So like the name implies, it's the fact that you go out and explore a location to determine where you're going to be taking pictures when you come back another time. This is perfect for a weekend like right now, where it was supposed to be very cloudy, actually was cloudy most of the day, and where there's probably even gonna be some rain or things like that, so the conditions are not great to be around and to be taking some pictures. So the goal is you're gonna come out, you're gonna look at the locations here, so I'm not listening to a podcast or things like that. I really wanna concentrate on looking at the scenes around to get an idea of where I could take some good pictures, and I might take a few shots using my phone just to remember the exact location with the GPS of where there's were. So when I come back another time, so let's say at sunrise or sunset, this location where we are, Gold Pound Creek, is about 45 minutes from where I live, so I could come here for sunrise or sunset, and knowing exactly where to come when I get here is actually going to be very useful because I won't be searching around the lake to try and find a location while the sunset is happening or sunrise, or even if I want to come back here and take some astrophotography shot. If I know exactly where to come, it just makes the whole process a lot easier when I come back. The first step of this process is to find the locations. For this, I did a simple Google search, searching for the best astrophotography spots around where I lived. I actually didn't give this exact spot, it gave something a little bit further away, but I added all of the spots I wanted to visit inside of Google Maps. There's a nifty little feature where you can create lists and show them inside of Google Maps, and I realized that this location was actually already on one of my lists, so when I decided to go see the location, I decided to come and see this one. It's very important to create these lists and understand where you want to be going to visit, because you're never going to really see online how they look like without seeing them in person. So being able to be here, understand the area, really gives me all kinds of shots that I wouldn't have seen on the internet. So for example, there's a bunch of shots on this side that most people don't show that could be pretty nice, especially for astrophotography. If you're wondering what I'm doing with my phone, this can work with any phone that you have. You don't need a Google Pixel 6 Pro or any phone like that to be doing this. I'm simply taking some shots. I'm using the wide angle lens to simulate what I would do usually during the night. I like taking a very wide angle lens when taking some pictures of the stars. So I'm trying to see what would be the composition. So what would I have in the foreground, what I would have for the stars. And then I'm using an app that's called PhotoPills. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow when we're going to go close to Mount Rainier. That's going to be a superb location. I'm really excited to go and see that. But the idea is just to get an idea of where is the sunrise, where's the sunset, where's the Milky Way, and all kinds of information like that. So for example, here I realized that on the other side of the lake, I actually couldn't really see the Milky Way, so I had to come on this side. So the view is definitely not as nice in the foreground. You don't have these nice big mountains, but you still get a nice view here with some small mountains, and the Milky Way would be straight in the center in front of here. So it could still be pretty interesting shots. But these are the kinds of things that you really need to come in person and need to analyze and take some time to understand where you should be taking a shot when you come back to take the actual photo in the end. You might be wondering why not just come here at night and directly start exploring at that point. And I would say it's just because I wouldn't be as adventurous if I was coming in the middle of the night, because you might have found that when I got here, the road wasn't in very good condition, but also all these little paths around. If I only had a night light on my head, I wouldn't be exploring as much because I wouldn't really know where to go, where is safe, what are the good spots. So overall, it's much better to come when there's a lot of light, when you have time to explore and really get the best spots, and then come back later on to take the actual photos when you know what you're going to be taking already. Okay, I think this proves my point quite well. Normally, if I came at night, I probably wouldn't be walking around the lake too much, but I realized that this point right here is actually much better than what I saw up to now, because first of all, we see the mountains in the background here much better, but what's even better is that right behind here, completely straight around 1 a.m. in the morning, you get the Milky Way. I'm going to try and show it with the screen on my phone, but the Milky Way should be coming up right here in the middle around 1 a.m. So this is a perfect timing, so at 1 a.m. it's not too late in the middle of the night, and you can get a perfect shot of the Milky Way right here with the water in the front, the mountains in the middle, and the Milky Way at the top. So this could make a really cool shot in the end. And without coming here and exploring the area, I never would have known this, and probably wouldn't even come to this spot for some astrophotography because it wasn't on the list of the places to visit for astrophotography close to my house in Washington. I'm not sure it's going to show too well on the video, but look how blue this color is. It's really incredible. The lakes around here with the glacier mountains, you get super nice colors inside of the water. I think it's time to head back to the car and go to our next location. It's actually getting quite late right now, and this is because I left quite late this morning because I woke up late, went for a run, and took it relaxed. But that's the cool thing with location scouting, is that there's no stress at all. You're not here for the good conditions, take a picture or anything like that. So really just here to enjoy your time, look around, try and find things. So there's no stress at all about doing it. So definitely let me know if you're enjoying this video up to now by hitting the like button below, and also share it with people. This really helps the algorithm. I don't like saying that, but it really does. I was a little bit too naive right here. I was hoping there would still be some places at the campground to stay for the night. It's first arrive, first serve, but it's way too late. It's already completely full, so I cannot stay here for the night. But I found a little spot here to go check out the lake, because this is one of the top locations that comes out in multiple lists because it's close to Seattle, but also really dark and a huge view with mountains around. So let's go check it out. Okay, well, I can definitely understand why this is a place that's recommended. You have a super nice open view on the lake here with the mountains in the background. They're not the biggest mountains. There's actually some bigger ones on the other side over there that you can only see from the campground, not from here. But the Milky Way is actually in the back here. So based on my previous research, the Milky Way should be coming up in the middle here, in the middle of the night. So it could be some really nice views here with the lake, the mountains, the Milky Way. So yeah, I think I'm gonna set up here for my dinner. I'm gonna go get my stuff to eat. take a look a little bit more with my camera, take some shots to get an idea of the composition, and also see where is the Milky Way and different things like that for my photos. But I definitely understand why this is a lake that's being recommended for astrophotography inside of Washington. It's definitely not the worst place to have dinner, and with the nice little wind, there's no mosquitoes at all, so that's also a benefit of being here. So now let's just enjoy the view and wait maybe for the sunset. This might be obvious for a lot of people, but never leave food outside if you don't want to have animals around you. So that's why I brought my food back inside of the car right away. And also a very important thing when you come in places like these, where it can become pretty cold at night, is to bring a second pair of clothes. So I have some warm clothes right here, so I'm going to switch to them so I don't completely freeze while waiting for the sunset. Now that I'm in my warm clothes, let's head back to the water and wait for the sunset. Okay, so while we're waiting for sunset, I want to quickly talk about the app I mentioned before. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough. This app is called PhotoPills. So let's go inside of my phone right here and open it up. I know it's a little bit pricey. It's about $15 inside of the Google Play Store or the App Store on iPhone. But it's a really great app, especially for scouting locations. I talked about it inside of my astrophotography videos. It's great for that too. But just in general, when you're scouting locations, it's very, very useful to have. So if you open the app right here, we're gonna go back in the main menu here. So it's gonna open on this page. So we're gonna go here at the top and we're gonna select the planner option. This is gonna allow us to plan where we are. So at the bottom right here, we have a little option where we can click and select our current location, which is pretty useful. So we can right away let us know where we are exactly. If you want to have other options, you can select different modes on how to select where you are. So you can do other options here. But if you go on the top bottom right, there's also an option here for layers, which is very useful. I really like this option, so you can decide what you're going to be showing up on the map right here. So we're going to say map tools, field of view. So this can allow us to see how much our camera is going to see inside of the shot. Then we're able to see the sun. I want to see the moon. I want to see the Milky Way. We could have the eclipse, meteor showers, all kinds of things like that. Twilight is also shown. So there's all kinds of things we can adjust right here. So then if you go back to the planner right here, if you look at the top of the screen, we're going to see, so I'm going to show it right here. We're going to see the top of the screen right here. We have all our different important information. For example, what time is going to be the sunset, at what time is going to be the sunrise, things like that, blue hours. All these informations are visible right there. We're also going to see at the top right here, so it might be a little bit harder to see right here, but we can see how much the moon is going to be out tonight. So this is very important in astrophotography. So we're going to see here, it's just a small little part of the moon, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then right underneath here, if you go, we have an option to select which camera we have. So I selected my A7 IV. You can select which lens you want to use and all kinds of information like this. And this can be used afterwards to calculate all kinds of information. They have a bunch of other options. I'm not going to go through them. But if you look at the option down here, we can actually see that when we turn around here, we can see what my one-angle lens at 17mm on my camera is going to look like. So you can see here that I should be able to take completely all the mountains here and on both sides also inside of the shot. So that's pretty useful information if you want to make sure that your subject is inside of the shot. Now if you look at the other options here, what is the most useful is at the bottom. It's a bit hard to show, but I'm going to try and show it right here. So you can simply take your finger here and you can move this around right here, and this will allow you to see how things react depending on where you are during the day. Okay, so I zoomed out a little bit on my map right here just to see better what is happening. So if you look at this right here, we're gonna see that the sun is coming down, and as we see, you can see the orange line turning around. We're gonna see that the sun is gonna be setting right up from the other side here, and it's gonna hit the mountains on this side and should hit the ones at the back of the lake right here a little bit too. So I hope that for sunset we get a little bit of the light at the bottom here and in the back here. But with the app, it's really easy to see where's going to be the sunset and where's going to be the sunrise. We can see the sunrise on the other side. And we actually can see that probably if we wanted to get good views of the sunset and sunrise, it would be better to go on the other side of the lake there, where we could see the sun setting and setting on both sides of the lake. So these are the kinds of information that are very useful when you're planning to see where's going to be the sunrise and sunset. You definitely want to have an app like this. But the reason why I love this app so much is actually if we start going in the night, so we're going to see first of all exactly at which time when the color starts changing, when the sunset is going to be there. So you can see that in the middle of the orange, that's going to be the sunset that's the most intense point. So that's going to be at 8:56 tonight. So that's about in an hour, 40 minutes now actually. So then if we continue a little bit more right here, so if you go inside of the middle here, so inside in the middle here, it's going to be at the most intense. And if we continue slowly going here, we're going to see that slowly we have dots right here. So if you look at the image right here, we're going to see that we have dots that are showing where the Milky Way is going to go. So if we go here, we're going to see that in the middle of the night right here. So you just have to long press again to go back here. We're going to see that about around 11:20, midnight, something like that. The sky is already completely dark. That's because it's completely blue in the background here, so we know that it's completely dark. But what's more important is actually we see that the Milky Way is going to be coming out right from that side and should be doing a little bit of an arc like here. So that's a pretty good idea of what we have. But if you want to be sure that what I'm saying right now and what I'm looking is actually accurate, there's actually a mode at the bottom, so you can go inside of here, inside of Night AR, and here you can use augmented reality and see depending on the time where it's going to be. So if we look right here, we can see that depending on when we're moving the time. So here I'm at about 11:10 p.m. So you can see that the Milky Way should be in the sky. Oh wow, that's going to be pretty nice here. So yeah, if we had a clear sky, the core would be coming out right here. It would be going all around here and getting down here. So this would actually be a perfect shot to take a nice wide panorama of all of the Milky Way going from one side to the other. So this is the kind of information that you cannot really see easily online and not really see without being on location. I did realize that on the right here, there might be a little bit too many trees. Same thing on this side, there might be a little bit too many trees. But the water seems to be really high. So another thing I realized by being here is that maybe later on the summer, then the water is going to go down a little bit and it would be easier to get this panorama of the Milky Way. So definitely want to come back here to test this out and try and take a picture of the Milky Way. And I hope that you saw how useful PhotoPills can be. It's very, very useful to determine all kinds of information when you're trying to plan where to take a shot. If you're wondering what I'm going to do while I wait for the sunset, I usually sometimes listen to Netflix or listen to some podcast or something like that. But actually, I bought something that's going to be a great addition to my photography kit. It's not just for photography, but I'm still going to be using it in photography. And it's an e-reader, which will allow me to read some books while I'm waiting for a scene like that. And I think it's a great thing to be reading books or something like that, because you could be able to enjoy the scene around the nice weather. Where when I'm listening to Netflix or something like that, I'm always looking at my screen, and it's not as fun as this, where here I'm more in the nature, more enjoying the moment, but still passing my time and not just waiting without doing anything, which can be sometimes a little boring, let's be honest. I'm setting up a little time-lapse right here with my DJI Pocket 2. I forgot my ND filter, so I'm not going to get this nice water, smooth water inside of the time-lapse, but at least it should be pretty nice with the sunset coming down. So let's start it right away and wait an hour to get the final result. I'm pretty excited to see how it's going to turn out. It was supposed to be super cloudy, rainy, and we're probably gonna get a super nice sunset with these clouds and the clear sky. So yeah, super exciting. If you don't go out, you're never gonna know how the conditions are gonna turn out, and today they turned out super great. So super happy to be outside and scouting locations for photography. Okay, I know I said this trip wasn't about taking some pictures, it was all about scouting the locations, but I think when there's a nice scene, you should still take a shot because these types of shots, you don't always have a chance to get them. So there's a nice sunset right here. There's this plant in the middle of the water here, which is pretty nice. So I'm gonna put this 10-stop filter on and hope that I can get some good long exposures with the smooth water, smooth clouds at the top. It could come out as really nice shots. So I just got my first test shot right here, and at 2 seconds it might not be quite enough, so I'm gonna have to take a longer one, maybe around 10 to even 30 seconds to get perfectly smooth water. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of trial and error to try and get just the right settings for this scene. Okay, so definitely wasn't the nicest sunset. The colors are already kind of disappearing. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some really gray clouds coming in the back right here. So I might have to leave soon. And also one of the problems, which is really hard, is that the little tree right here actually moves a lot inside of the wind. I think you can see it right here moving. So that's actually really hard to take inside of the camera, because if I go with like 10-15 seconds, the water looks really nice and good, but the tree is moving at the same time, so I might have to try and take a sharp one for just the tree and then a long one for the water and merge them together. But I'm not sure if it's really worth it or not, so we're gonna see once I get back home what I do with them. I think it's finally time to wrap up this video, and I must say I'm really happy with my day of scouting locations. I found some really nice places to take some pictures. I'm definitely going to be coming back here for some pictures at night when the sky is going to be clear. Right now there's clouds coming in, so no pictures at night tonight. But I also want to say that I'm really happy to be out making these videos. I really miss making these videos outside in the nature with not too much stress, not having a lot of things to do. So it's really nice to be back in making these videos. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. It's one of the nicest views. It's somewhere I've been wanting to go for a while, but it just opened the road to get there yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, something like that. So it's really recent that you can actually access that point, because it's still covered with snow, but we should have some amazing views from there. So I'm really excited to go see that, and I hope it's not going to rain too much. It was supposed to rain today too, but it didn't. So yeah, I'm hoping for good conditions. So see you tomorrow. I've been searching for the sunset all this time, but it's actually in the back right here at the other end of the lake, so I couldn't see it. I think I decided to split this video in 2 parts, so this is going to be the end of the first part. So definitely let me know if you enjoyed this video by hitting the like button below, and also subscribe for the second part of this video, but also for more content on photography and filmmaking. See you in the next one. This was so cool because I was coming back and I saw some fireworks stopped by the water, and just by the lake there was a ton of boats on the lake, and there were super nice fireworks. For 4th of July, we're only 2th of July, but didn't expect this at all. Nice way to end the night.